So
Yeah.
because no shirts, no shirts.
No,
shirts,
yeah, you don't have to explain it. You don't.
No shirts, no pants, bowler hats, no service.
All right, we are live on YouTube, so we're going to get this started right about. What is up, everybody? Welcome to Comic Book Club. I'm Alex.
I'm Justin.
I'm Pete.
And we are coming to you live from a couple of places on the internet. We are live over on Crowdcast. We're live over on YouTube, or maybe you're listening to us later, wherever you get your podcasts. Wherever that's going on, it's all good, all together now in the hood. We're just excited to have you here. Now, before we get into the show proper, and we have some great guests for you this evening, I wanted to give a plug, as we've been doing for many, many weeks here, for our friend Brent Macris, a.k.a. Stret Bullet. Stray Bullet is... You started to say Stray Bullies, and I started to say Stray Bullet, and I messed up.
Sorry.
Is what happened. It's all right. It's all right, man. I think we're going to recover
him for
from
years.
This.
Yeah.
New to me.
I'd like to thank my mom and dad for raising me.
In any case, he's occasionally been curating some drinks for us and occasionally creating them because he is a professional chef. This is a true fact. And this week he found a terrible drink on TikTok, which was
the home of terrible drinks.
Oh, boy.
Yes, but it was a May the 4th day drink, I think, was the idea. So
it's called the Darth, I believe. Or no, it's called the Vader.
The Vader. So it was, you put black food coloring in a shot glass.
Black rum in a shot glass. You flip it upside down in your glass. So the dark rum is sort of trapped in the shot glass. Pour in the bad recipe, Sprite, and then cherry liqueur or cherry cordial liqueur or something on top of it.
So the two of you worked together to come up with something better.
I threw out a recipe. I was like, forget that drink. That drink will give you sugar shock instantly. I said, let's do dark rum, ginger beer, a little Aperol on top. And what you got there, and he added the Averna to give a little more spice. It's the Darth and Stormy, which is a much better bev.
Yeah, so there you go. Ooh, are you making yours right now? I'm going to pop out of the recipe. Oh. So, yeah, you got the shot glass, so it looks like Darth Vader in his chamber from Star Wars, except it's more alcoholic. I made mine upstairs. I was a little worried about pulling out the shot glass over my laptop. Do you want to do the effect, Justin? You want to pull out the shot glass?
I find your lack of alcohol disappointing.
Whoa. And I love that you get the surface pressure at the end, so the shot hangs there for a second before it pours into the thing. This is a great drink. This is a really good drink.
Yeah, I'm psyched about it. If you didn't get to see the beginning, I'll be doing it again halfway through the
show. But yes, there you go. That is all in our Patreon Slack as well, patreon.com/comicbookclub. Great discussions there. Drink making. Lots of talk about Doctor Strange 2 going on today. Lots of furious debates. Spoiler-heavy debates that I'm sure we'll get into a little later in the show, as well as the old Moon Knight show that we'll probably be talking about later as well. But I don't want to delay too much. We got two great guests this evening. Later on in the show, we're going to bring a returning guest. Ibrahim Moustafa is going to be here. But first, why don't we bring in our first guest, Miss S, here into the stream, Serena Sanchez, to talk about her new book that is on Indiegogo, Black Rhapsody. Hello, here, you want to, here, I'll turn off your video. No, I can't turn off your video. There you go. You figured it out.
That's great.
Serena, welcome to the stream. Thanks so much for coming on tonight.
Thanks for having me on.
Oh my gosh, totally. So this book looks super fun. You launched it on Indiegogo. Right now it is 96% funded.
So close.
Get after
so
it.
Close. I'll bring up a little picture of it here, but this is called Black Rhapsody. It's on Indiegogo right now. Serena, tell us about the idea. What is the pitch for the book?
Black Rhapsody is a horror cult thriller comic that's about musical magical girls named after mythological goddesses in an uphill battle against a Lovecraftian pop star and her evil music empire. Take the darkness of Madoka Magica and combines it with the ultra violence of Berserk with a bit of Gemini hologram sprinkled in.
Nice.
Yes, I love
Nice.
a little bit of gem in there.
Oh, yeah. That's a great sprinkle.
Yeah. Well, this is a great looking book. Talk a little bit about the inspiration here. Like you gave the pitch, but there's a lot of monster stuff going on. As you mentioned, there's a lot of music stuff going on. Where did it start with? Did it start with the idea of doing like a sort of a magical girl book? Were you more interested in the music? Was it just to create a comic? What was the initial germ of inspiration?
It was a magical girl book because I always wanted to do my own take on magical girls. I've been a fan of them since I was a kid. I'm a huge Sailor Moon fan and recently from Doka fan. I wanted to do a dark take on it, so I decided to find like darker inspirations such as Berserk, H.P. Lovecraft, and numerous other works. But I chose the music theme because I wanted to give my book a theme. Every magical girl story has a bit of a theme. Sailor Moon has the planetary theme. Tokyo Mew Mew has the environmentalist animal theme. So I wanted to choose a theme that might attract people. So I chose music, but I kind of did my own twist. Instead of having like the cutesy J-pop idol music, which I hate, I decided to diversify it by making characters embodiments of certain genres.
Cool.
That's awesome.
Well, talk about the musical inspiration then. Is there stuff that you listen to while you're creating this? Are there things that you're specifically... Oh, my gosh. All right. Okay. Gonna stop doing that.
Why don't you... Yeah, there you go.
Oh, there we go. All right. People listening in. There seems to be some not safe for work stuff going on there as well in this Indiegogo. Yeah. Which is all good.
We're not at work right now. We can get into
this. You guys get paid for this, right?
If you don't know, we don't.
Yeah.
But talk a little bit about the musical inspiration behind this. Were there different genres you were looking at? Is there music that you listen to while you're creating it?
I don't listen to music when I write due to the fact that I get distracted easily. But when it comes to like the character designs and the characters themselves, I had to do research of different genres as well as different mythological figures. If you were to break up the cover art of the girl with the dark outfit and the purple hair on the other side,
that's where it's split.
The split cover image. That's the main character of the book, Alethea Mahalia, on the left, and on the right is her magical counterpart, Hecate. As you know anything about Greek mythology, Hecate is the Greek goddess of ghosts, magic, the moon, and witchcraft. So for particular gods, what genre was she embody? Had to be a goth genre due to the fact that, again, she's a chthonic goddess. And most chthonic gods tend to be like always clad in black. So for Hecate, I had to choose one that was very like atmospheric and ghostly, and I chose Ethereal Wave for her. So she embodies Ethereal Wave. And throughout the story, you're going to see different girls based on certain goddesses embody different genres. For example, I have like a character based on a Japanese ice dragon god who embodies death metal. And another one based on Afro Soul, who is based on an African nature goddess.
Cool.
Nice.
Did you ever work in the music industry, or how did you research sort of that that side of it? Just inspiration.
I never worked in the music industry, but I had to do a lot of research for this book because I'm not familiar with genres outside of pop, electronic, hip hop, rock. So I found music genres that I didn't even know existed.
Nice, cool.
And talk a little bit about the Indiegogo. Obviously, we're looking at here on the live stream, but for anybody listening to the podcast, what are the perks people potentially can get? What are you, other than obviously the book, what can people pledge for?
I have a feature tier that encompasses all the other tiers, plus a acrylic standee of the main character, her magical girl counterpart, it's inspired by the cover art that you're seeing. It's still in the works at the moment. You could get a digital PDF of the book if you are low on money or don't want to deal with international shipping. There's also a tier with books and with the physical copy of the book, as well as a poster of the virgin cover art, as well as the two pinup prints.
Well, that's awesome. So this is going on for almost another month at this point. Fingers crossed, it looks like you're pretty close to being successful. Do you have stretch goals prepped at this point? Do you have this stuff ready, or is that premature?
I do have stretch goals prepped for it. One of the first stretch goals is going to be like a variant cover, a mystery variant cover with, as you saw before, the not safe for work pinup paired with it, which is going to be included in the feature tier once it's unlocked. Another tier at around 8,000. It's a colored version of the book. So there's going to be a version of the book that's going to be, instead of black and white, it's going to be fully colored.
Oh, cool.
Cool.
Nice. And other than the Indiegogo, of course, people can check out Black Rhapsody Part 1 there. Where else should people check you out online?
You can check me out on Twitter at MagicAlMedia. I'm active there.
Cool.
Awesome.
Nice.
Serena, thank you so much for coming on. Good luck with the project, though it looks like you won't need it. But great chatting with you.
Right on
Have
the
a great
edge.
night.
Yeah.
Right on the edge.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Thank you. I really.
All right.
Cool.
There you go. Once again, that was Serena Sanchez. The project is called Black Rhapsody Part 1, and it's on Indiegogo right now, and you can check it out. Super fun art there, and always love a good project that involves music. Why don't we bring in our second guest now? He is a returning guest. It's nice to have him back here on the show to talk about his new book, Retroactive, which is out now, I believe. Should be coming into the stream any second now. There we go.
What's up, guys?
Hello.
Hey!
There you are. Good
Hey,
seeing
good to
you
see
again.
Yeah, thanks for having me back.
Oh my gosh, thanks for coming on. So Retroactive is just out week, 2 weeks now, is that right?
Yeah, it was the 26th when it came out of April.
All
so
right.
yeah, about 2 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Nice.
this project is awesome. We had you on previously to talk about Count, I believe.
Yes.
And now you're back to talk about this one. So one a year. You get one a year.
Yeah.
That's definitely like
I'm trying to keep the. And real quick, I was trying to think of a Star Wars drink. This is just coffee, but I was thinking my Mason Jar Jar drinks.
Oh,
I like it.
I was also,
Misa like that.
Oh, come on, man.
Sorry.
Sounds
Oh,
right.
Alex,
When
no.
you
And
do
also,
it, yeah.
I am also wearing a shirt. Just putting that out there.
Oh, wow.
All right.
That's great.
Yeah, nice job.
4 of a kind.
Man, you
Amazing.
get how to talk to us. That's for sure. You're speaking our language.
So this project is very cool. It is nothing like Count, the last thing we talked to you about. This is a time travel thriller mystery mind bender, I guess. Do you want to talk about the pitch for this one a little bit?
Yeah, so my elevator pitch for it is James Bond meets Groundhog Day. So it's like it's
like
a
both of those
spy-fi thriller. You know, it's like there's a time travel organization like the CIA of time travel, essentially, and they go back and essentially try to keep the timeline intact, right? So like, for example, you know, Russia might go back to an event in the U.S.'s history to try to alter things for their own benefit in the future, and so the BTA, this group, they go back in time and stop that from happening, right?
Boo,
Yeah,
Nazis.
Wow.
and one of the basically they go to track down an anomaly that's showing up in the timeline, and that leads the main character to being stuck in a time loop, and so he has to kind of figure his way out of it and then try to, you know, save the day once he's able to break the loop. So
That's awesome.
thank you. Yeah, I'm usually better at explaining it, but yeah,
No, I get it. I feel like last time your book was Count, based on Count of Monte Cristo, you were like, well, I don't want to read another 1,000 pages novel
Right.
for this next one. I'm going to do something fresh off the top.
Well, but that
Yeah.
said, though, you're dealing with multiple timelines. You're dealing with multiple time periods. What was it like planning something like this out?
it was really challenging. Yeah, like because I wanted to keep it concise and not too, like time travel, timey-wimey, you know what I mean?
Sure,
So I made very simple rules for the time travel and I stuck to them.
Smart.
Yeah, and the story is it's two congruent timelines sort of, and then they merge into one. So it's very clearly delineated as you read. So I think it's pretty easy to follow along. I was kept thinking of that scene in Looper when Bruce Willis is like, "Nah, if we start talking about how it works, we're gonna be making diagrams with straws and napkins and shit. We're gonna be here all day." So I was trying to keep it nice and streamlined.
Well, to that point, then, are there? I don't know if you want to spoil this necessarily, but did you look to something previously for time travel rules, or do you feel like I always feel like there's this temptation when you're doing something like this, when you're doing time travel, when you're doing vampires or whatever, to be like, I got to do something entirely fresh and new. I got to completely innovate. So did you go in that direction, or did you just kind of like pull on, okay, this is Back to the Future rules. This is Looper rules.
It was a little bit of both.
Okay.
I wanted the time travel itself to be a more unique means of doing it. So I kept it pretty low tech. Instead of using just one thing they kind of have to use this watch device and this chamber in tandem. And they can only go back to one point in the past and then return to the present. So there's no jumping through time, in multiple hops. Yeah. Cause then you just get lost. Wait, when was that?
And you're not going to have it be like an Apple Watch where you got to have it constantly updating it to match the phone.
No software updates
great.
I wasn't plugged in last night. Damn.
Yeah. Can't time travel today. I didn't. Yeah.
And then, but I also did some stuff that was kind of like, I don't want to say well worn, but the book opens in a very James Bond opening sequence kind of thing. And they're in Nazi-occupied France. So we're automatic, like right off the bat, we're getting the question out of the way of, would you go back in time and kill Hitler, right?
Right.
So I wanted to kind of take those sort of time travel tropes and
get them off the board.
Yeah. And also in this, you get an explanation for why there's a time loop, which I think a lot of times in these, stories that have that, they never really tell you what the deal is. Like, it's just kind of like Groundhog Day, it just stops. I guess the universe is trying to teach him to love or whatever. Like, so this is like very specific. Here's how it works. Here's why.
Cool. Well, first off, you talk about the James Bond and the stuff that we saw. The action looks bananas. It's really great. It's well captured in comic form. So congratulations on that.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, I enjoy action stuff a lot, and I wanted to make it as exciting and sort of I like a very cinematic action experience in comics, so I like to try to do it that way.
Cool.
I don't know if this is answering a question that you answer in the book, but would you go back in time and kill Hitler?
Objection asked and answered. No, I would. Well, you know what? I probably would. I mean, in the book, I don't say I make a case for it, but there's like one person going, we should do it. Another person going, no, here's why you can't. That being said, yeah, we know how it worked out with him around. Let's see what happens without him.
That's fair. Oh, Justin is totally gone.
Yeah, so this is against that. Justin,
he was pretty upset just now.
Yeah, he was really upset. Yeah.
Justin, this is the second book that you've done with Humanoids. Is that correct?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. So what's it been like working with them as a publisher? Obviously, I'm not looking for you to slam them. I'm just curious about what the process has been like.
Choose your words carefully. This is a classic Alex trap.
I have Mr. Humanoids himself on the other side of the street.
Yes, Dr. Jason Humanoids.
No, it's that's his name. How did you know? It's crazy. It's great. Like I pretty much pitch them a book, and if they like it, then I do it. And that's kind of been, the way it is. And
seems like a great system you have in place.
Yeah. I mean, and that's not to say everything gets greenlit. Like, there's before I pitched Retroactive, I threw a couple ideas out to see sort of what they're, what they were looking for next in terms of, because a lot of times you're trying to see what they don't have. We got 3 of those already, so you don't want to do that book next kind of thing. So. But yeah, Mark Wade, who's been the publisher as I've been there, like he is super supportive and just like
super nice guy.
Yeah,
great guy. Comics and really believes in the medium, and I think it seems that your work really shines in his eyes as well.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I've been really fortunate to have him like in my corner. So
yeah,
it's pretty huge.
You've also, this is the second graphic novel that you've done. Do you have any interest in doing monthly comics and doing floppies? Is that something you're looking to, or do you enjoy writing in this longer form?
I love both of them. I have a series in mind that I want to do that is like you could do it in a trade, but ultimately like every issue would be like a separate story within the same, following a through line, similar to like what Michael Walsh is doing with the Silver Coin.
Oh yeah, that's a great
love
series.
that book.
So that's something I'd really love to do. But I also really enjoy the sort of one and done nature of a collected, a single graphic novel. It's kind of like watching a 2-hour movie, and then you get to reflect on the experience, and you're not going, wait, what happened last time? How did I, So
the other thing that's probably different, and maybe it's not for you, but back when we were talking about Count, everything was closed down. Now comic conventions are starting to open up a little bit. There's a little more of the whole press tour thing going on. Is that something you're looking to embrace for Retroactive, potentially bringing it around to San Diego Comic-Con, New York Comic-Con, versus potentially what happened last year?
Yeah, I'm honestly not like the biggest travel buff personally. Like like my wife and my dog are here, and I'm like, and all my stuff, and it's kind of like,
Where are you based?
I'm in Portland, Oregon.
That's a nice city.
A nice spot.
Yeah. So, I mean, I certainly, I love getting to cons to see my friends and, meet readers and stuff like that. So I do look forward to getting back into that, but yeah, I mean, I'm still sort of not, as we see like wave after wave of COVID and mutated strands of it hitting. I'm like, yeah, my house is looking great right now. Like,
you don't want to be in an enclosed space with thousands of comic book fans for a weekend. I don't understand.
I mean, I do, as long as there's not like a virus going around.
I'm
sure nobody. Let me shout out. I had COVID last week. Last show, I got literally the show ended, and I was like, "Well, I'm sick now."
Oh,
and it was bad, but now I'm invincible. Nothing can kill me.
Yeah, that's how. I'm glad you're better.
Yeah, that's why you left after the Hitler discussion. The very idea of people dying, like Hitler, for example, was upsetting to you. Too far? Too far?
Dallas. I don't know if you're familiar with how COVID affects the body, but does it make you worry about Hitler?
Well, I don't know what to tell you. Now that you do have this book in the rearview mirror, though, or at least now that you're out there pushing it, are you working on a new project? Is there something else coming up that we potentially can look forward to?
Yeah, it's still pretty early to talk about, but I've still got my third book in my Humanoids contract that I started work on, and then I have some other like work for hire irons in the fire that I'll get to play in some other people's sandboxes. So I'm pretty excited about that. So it's all like writing stages at the moment, and I'm looking forward to getting pencil to paper soon. So
let me shout out your turn of phrase: "Work for hire, irons in the fire." That's
bars,
tongue
right?
twister. I love it, dude. Put that on the back
on that note,
right there.
We got a comment here over on YouTube from Tony Fleek says, Retroactive, excellent book. Ibrahim's YouTube channel, though, next level compelling content.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
What is going on your YouTube channel?
So I make custom action figures and vehicles for them, and so I started doing that on YouTube because like I was already doing it anyway.
Is there something you can hold up that you got back there? What's up, bro?
Yeah, can I run away for a half?
Yeah, absolutely.
No wonder you don't want to leave your house. You're living a toy.
Yeah, man,
you're living the dream.
Yeah.
What if he comes back with something really bad and it's
what do
really
you think it's going to be like?
Something not safe for work, Alex.
Okay.
All right. So
I was not cool about that.
I know you were not. You were.
I don't know how well they'll show up here, but this is
pearl clutching.
Considering what I was just talking about, Retroactive, I got my
Phil
Connors from Groundhog Day.
Wow.
Phil?
For those of you
yeah.
For those of you who can't see it, it's a legit Phil Connors action figure from the movie Groundhog Day when he's delivering the news right before he gets stuck in Punxsutawney. It's great.
He's got the coffee cup, and then this one. I just finished this guy. We've got our Morgan Freeman from the Batman trilogy.
Oh, from
wow, that's great.
That's really the detail is beautiful.
Do you start with other figures? Do you build them from scratch? How does that work?
I feel like I'm staring into his soul. That's crazy.
I've for Phil Connors, for example, I used a ghost, but so there's a brand called Mezco that makes these really great 6-inch action figures. They're almost like a little Hot Toys figure. And they made a line of Ghostbusters figures. So I managed to find a spare like Bill Murray head, and then I repainted it. It doesn't really show up on this camera that well, I don't think, but I repainted it, and then I essentially, cobbled together a bunch of different like clothing pieces. From you can find them online. The suit, so the base body was a Joker. It was a knockoff version, so I got it for like $20 as opposed to like the 80 that the real figure costs. And then I painted the suit blue because it was purple, and I painted like a paisley pattern onto his tie. And then used hands from one figure. The microphone is from an April O'Neil. This is from
nice,
naturally.
Yeah. And then the Morgan Freeman one, I used just a blank base body that you can get. And then clothing again that I cobbled together from various internet sources. I made the little bow tie out of another tie, like a traditional tie. I just kind of cut it and reattached it. And then the head was, I think it was probably a 3D print that I got on eBay. Mm-hmm. You can get like these blank heads. There are two different versions of them.
Wait, you're saying you can buy heads on the internet?
Yeah, shrunken
human heads. If you
dark web, man, dark web. You got to look into it.
You can get. So there are two ways. A lot of people are 3D printing stuff nowadays because the technology is just so easy to get. And so I think the Morgan Freeman one was a 3D printed head, but a lot of people, what they do is they'll actually take, well, not a lot of people, but select few will take like a Hot Toys, a Hot Toys scale head, and then they use a resin to make a mold out of it. That as the cast cures, it shrinks by about half. And so they'll do that in a few stages, and eventually you get one that's like, a 1/12 scale as opposed to 1/6 scale. So
that's so much work. I worked with resin once for a job, and it was so frustrating.
It really is, right?
It's insane to do that.
Yeah.
I also worked with resin before where you got to like scrape it out so it doesn't clog. It's rough, dude.
Yeah. Well, it's tough. I mean, you gotta make little air holes. Oh, I see. I got you. It took me a second.
Don't be caught in my pizza.
You gotta like make air holes so that the bubbles can escape and it doesn't create like a divot in the side of the face or whatever. So I've sculpted a few heads from scratch, and I've augmented ones I've already had. To like I turned a Ryan Gosling into Leon the Professional, just because it was kind of like the right head structure, and I just had to like add clay onto it and all. So yeah,
another role that Ryan Gosling just disappeared into.
right? One of the greatest character actors of his generation.
He's amazing. He's amazing. And no one could tell.
How did you start doing this? When did you take that step into creating your own figures?
So there's a company called NECA that a lot of people are probably familiar with. They make really great figures, and they put out a line of 1990 movie Ninja Turtles. And it was the first time that anyone had made like movie accurate Ninja Turtles, right? Before, when they went up, there was an announcement that they were going to happen, and I was like, oh man, they might be really hard to get. They were like a San Diego exclusive, and you had to get up early and like get it online the same way you'd like register for a college class that fills up super quick or something like, and they only made 5,000 of them. So I wasn't sure if I was going to get on the list. So I decided, like, I'm just going to make my own. I have these pretty decent turtle figures that I could use for the body. So I just sculpted the heads. And then from there I was like, I want a John Wick figure, and there aren't any of those. So I took a Neo from the Matrix, like the old McFarlane toys. Sure. And I, dremeled the hair off and made the longer hair, and I painted a beard on him and found a body with a suit and stuff. Then, of course, now there's 5 or 6 different John Wick figures you can get, which I have all of them. But yeah, right. So yeah, that kind of sent me down the rabbit hole.
Do you just have like a room full of like figures and body parts and stuff like that, where you're just
So I have got some stuff on my shelves right here.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
Camera.
Come on, man.
Let me rotate this way. I don't know how well you'll be able to see, but these are all.
Okay, yeah, we can see a couple of shelves
and
there.
then I've got more down there, and
that's nerded.
It's crazy. The one angle you have on you is like a pretty like chill.
Looks like I am a business professional.
And you're literally surrounded on all sides by homemade dope action figures.
Dude, they're everywhere I look.
So when you said you didn't really want to travel because of your wife and your dog, you meant your action figures,
right?
That's
what you really meant.
I mean,
Daddy can't leave his plastic children alone.
I'm such a like I always have a project going, and it's hard to break away because it's like I gotta, I just finished. I'm editing a video today, but I took there was this fold out toy that was it was like a Batman Begins tumbler Batmobile, right? And it was like a case essentially that was shaped like the Batmobile, and you can open it up and it's like inside it's Gotham City, like play as Batman and Scarecrow, right? One of those like toys.
Voiceover actor.
So
Well,
I got one for $20 online, and it's like a 20-year-old toy at this point. And I gutted the inside of it, and I basically like made like a fairly screen accurate tumbler out of it. Like wow. I got rubber RC tires and rims for it, and I made little like actuator like air struts and stuff like that, and put LED lights in it, and so wow. That's, and they there's only one company that makes that version of the Batmobile in a scale for smaller action figures, and it's like $500, and I was like, let me see what I can do with.
So if I go to your YouTube channel, I can see you make the Bat tumbler.
Yeah, I actually have like I'm working on part 4 now of like a 4-part series where I show the entire build process.
Wow.
So
wow.
Pete, how close are you to Xing out of this show?
Yeah,
right
just
now?
like please do this. I gotta go check this out.
Yeah, so it's it's a ton of fun, and it's something I do for fun anyway. So I'm like, well, why don't I just record some of it? And people ask me when I post them, like, how did you make that? So now
That's amazing. What is the name of your YouTube channel so people can check it out?
Just my name, Ibrahim Moustafa. Yeah, if you look that up, it'll pop up. You'll see my mug in a little round circle, and subscribe. Don't forget to smash that like button. All that good stuff.
That is amazing.
It's so funny having you on here, because it'd be like you coming on to talk about how you do ceiling tiles, and then later be like, oh, I'm Neil Gaiman as well.
Yeah.
This is a super interesting whole other thing that we had no idea about. We interviewed you like a year ago,
and we blew it.
We blew it. We didn't ask the right questions.
Yeah. All you had to do is open Pandora's box, and I won't shut up about it, right?
We call ourselves journalists, but we really missed here. We really missed.
Well, you guys got a great tip from Tony Fleece. I know you're not supposed to reveal sources, but
yeah. No, we reveal our sources all the time.
All the time.
That's why we're bad journalists.
Yes. That is amazing, though. I can't believe you have these great comics and also make these amazing action figures. That is so cool. It was so good seeing you again. Looking forward to whatever the next project is, as well as going to check out your YouTube channel now.
Yeah, take care.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for having me back. It was great to chat with you again, and I feel like you were in the same like Brady Bunch configuration on my screen as last time too.
We don't leave, man. We don't leave.
I always have a technical problem and have to leave and then return.
Yes, we stopped the stream and we're just sitting here silently for a week. Have a good night.
All right, thanks guys. Take care.
Later, man.
Once again, it is the book is called Retroactive. You can check that out now.
Also very cool.
Humanoids, which is also, very cool. Yeah. And you can check out Ibrahim Moustafa, his YouTube channel, which I'm going to check out. That sounds amazing. Yeah. Very exciting.
We all are.
Yeah. And we are going to move on to our next section, which is my favorite section because you all make it up. It's your audience questions. Woo-hoo! And for audience questions, all you got to do is drop a question either in the YouTube comments over in Ask a Question here on Crowdcast. But before we get into that, it looks like Justin's going to do another demonstration of the old Darth and Stormy here.
Who knows?
Here's how you do it, though. Here's how you do it, Pete. You got the little shot glass.
Okay, all right. I forgot about the glass on the bottom, and I spilled it all over the counter.
Yeah. Selvin, for a smart person, you're not very smart.
I'm not a smart bartender.
You do the flip and see how it's just in there. Can you see? Yep.
Yeah, we can see.
Great. Then you throw a little ginger beer in here. Very good ginger beer. It's the local Jamaican ginger beer from Manabe. Good buy.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Yeah. Then you put the Aperol on top to add the true Sith Force.
Mm-hmm. And now you're evil. Congratulations.
And now
do a slow pull so people can see the service tension.
Do the slow pull.
Slow pull.
Dun, 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 dun. That's not the right song.
What are you getting married?
Ooh. Ooh, there we go. I definitely gonna marry that drink. It's a good drink.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's your
Now
second
that's
one. Take it
a
easy.
good
Now, that's
drink.
a spicy meatball, I always say. Pete, what are
Put
you
that
drinking
on
tonight?
TikTok. We got the new shit here.
Oh
Yeah.
man, you're on the
We should put it
tickities.
up. That should be our first video on the Comic Book Club TikTok.
We have one?
We do.
Oh,
my
yeah,
God.
let's definitely.
I never
too
put
old.
anything up because Pete, you were like, God, we shouldn't do that. We're too old for that.
We're too old for that.
No,
Yeah.
guys,
And I was
TikTok
like,
is
no,
the
man.
same as everything. I promise. It's no.
Oh boy.
We're already in the right camera formation. Like, it's perfect.
Yeah. Pete, what are you
Camera
drinking?
Formation. Oh, I'm drinking a little vodka and some Gatorade lemon lime.
Nice. A classic. Absolutely.
Classic.
Well, cool. Let's get to some questions here.
I have some questions.
Well, I think the first question here is going to, these questions are going to tie into your questions,
Okay,
Pete.
good.
All right. So I think they'll queue you up. If you have any additional ones afterwards, definitely, let me and Justin know. This is from Stray Bullet. We heard
Stray
how
Bullet.
Alex would write the Moon Knight series, and we got the poignant view of our resident line producer. So I'd like to feel redeemed in my love for Moon Knight and hear what Pete LePage thinks of the show's ending and what he thinks of his co-host's opinions on the topic. Now, Stray Bullet here is, of course, talking about over
Stray
on the
Bullet's
Marvel
straight
Vision.
trying to get us to fight is what's happening.
Exactly.
Yes,
Did
yes.
Stray Bullet? Did you write this question for Stray Bullet, Pete? Because I wouldn't put it past you to do that.
On our Marvel Vision podcast, we recapped all 6 episodes of Moon Knight that was up, but Pete was out of town, so we didn't get a chance to hear your opinion on the finale. While I run out and plug my computer in, because I forgot to do that before the show, and my computer's about to die. Pete, take it away.
Oh, great. Wow, this is fun. Yeah, so last app, we got, giant monster fighting giant monster. Big kind of reveal at the end. I thought this was just like, plus
You found it to be a little bloated, and it sort of collapsed
shut
under
the
the weight of
fuck
it.
up. I'm talking. Shut the fuck up. You did a whole thing. So like, we got an Egyptian superhero moment where a little girl was like, "Are you a superhero?" And she got to be like, "Hell yes." I mean, what's not to love? There was action, there was excitement, there were giant monsters fighting each other. By the end of it, I was like, "Wait, how is he?" But if he's there and Khonshu's in the suit, like, how does that even? I don't. It was just like, just kind of like, oh shit, this is going to be crazy. Yeah, I mean, it was interesting because like when they had the moment, kind of spoiled all, where they were like, all right, do we shoot the bad guy or don't we? They kind of like just only asked like kind of one of the personalities, and I was kind of surprised that like all of them would be along for this ride, especially since all they sacrificed along the way and all the people that died. So like, I was really happy with the outcome, and I was kind of amazed at not only the like creativity of like one adventure. Like I've been reading Moon Knight forever, and I've like this took so many kind of like amazing turns and added some new characters that kind of like I'm very excited to see how they're going to play out. So I was very impressed with the choices being made, and the fact that we're getting kind of like this cool character with kind of Mark, and I'm going to see like how they team up and what happens with them. But what did you guys think?
Well, for a counterpoint, you can go to the Marvel Vision podcast and listen to that there. I think, just to sum up, and Justin, feel free to jump in, I think we were probably a little more mixed about it. To be generous. Is that too generous?
You didn't think the alligator was badass?
We did talk about how the alligator was indeed badass.
The alligator was badass, and I think the other big up that we gave to the show is Oscar Isaac was great in it, and the whole cast was great. I think I had some issues.
And the hippo like coming through at the last second with the boat move. I thought it was great.
I love the way the hippo captained the boat.
Yes. One addendum we could probably do on the podcast, one issue that we had, we talked a little bit about how she got hippo powers and then turned into a falcon, which was a little weird. It got weirder when it came out.
Wait, got what powers and then turned into?
She got hippo powers. She got hippo powers. Layla got hippo.
That
She
was
became the avatar of Taweret.
Oh, really? I didn't even put that together.
Yeah.
She became a winged hippo avatar.
Right. But then we found out later that it wasn't a winged hippo. It was actually, she is a hero known as the Scarlet Scarab.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that she also doesn't look like a scarab and she doesn't seem to be wearing any scarlet.
Wait. Go fuck yourself. The scarab that was kind of floating, give us the direction, had wings and was like in that gold kind of thing. So she took that same thing and put it to her outfit.
No, that's like comparing the wings of an airplane and the wings of Namor the Submariner. They're different.
No, they're the same
Her
color.
wings were feathers.
Very similar.
Was she
You've ever
scarlet,
seen
Pete? Was she scarlet?
Do you mean red?
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Was she
No.
red?
No, she-
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they took a name of an old Egyptian superhero from Marvel Comics that most people have forgotten. I think actually a couple of people on our Patreon Slack did remember that hero.
Yep, that's where
So they took
I
that name, but it was definitely like something that they didn't mention in the show, so that was a little weird.
But Egyptian superhero check, yes, please.
It's cool.
No, that's great. That's great.
Yeah, that is great.
Yeah.
So
For more, listen to the Marvel Vision podcast. I don't want to get into a big fight about this
All right.
because
we just had slightly different opinions, and I think that's fine.
okay.
Yes.
You
Honestly-
did you like the monster fight?
Yes. I especially like that one point where Mark's down on the ground and Harrow's about to kill him. And he looks up and sees the monster fight. That was cool.
Yeah. That was fun. There was fun visuals throughout. Like, I think
my
the other thing I believe I mentioned on the podcast is, despite my reservations about the plot and how some things were executed, visually there were always interesting things in terms of the direction throughout the show. So, not my favorite Marvel show, but they're all fine. You know,
Man, I mean, we
like
even
I
got
keep
the
saying,
white,
I say
we
I'm
even
like.
got we even got the white limo at the end. You know what I mean? Like
The
that.
famous Moon Knight limo.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you've been
Sorry. I thought you were talking about what I took to my prom. That it was
Exactly.
famous because of that. Yeah.
Oh,
The
wow.
famous white limo I took to my prom.
That was famous.
Well, all right.
What was it like riding in that by yourself the whole?
Oh my God! It
Come
was
on.
spacious, just stretched out the entire
As-
time.
as
They
Disney.
had
As
this is nuts. They had 2 bottles of water that I only had to pay a little bit extra for.
Nice. Worth it.
It was great.
It's fun.
Yeah, I there was one point, Pete will appreciate this, when I was riding, I was like almost to the high school during the 5-minute ride, which I paid several $1,000s for, and I said out loud to the driver, "First time in a limo, Mr. Galakowitz," but he didn't hear me because he already had the thing up.
Yeah, and he was like, I don't need to hear that joke again.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree with you, Alex. Limos, no fun. They're like a stretched out car, and it's too long. Most limos too long. Anytime
Yeah,
I'm
that's
in a
fine.
limo, I'm
Or
like,
you're sitting
"Thanks
the
for
wrong
the
way. You know, you're sitting on the side. It's weird. You feel like you're, I don't know. what you
Sweaty.
feel like.
I went to the prom in a helicopter, just like Theo Huxtable.
Nice. Pete, what did you take to the prom?
A bunch of us piled into a van.
Yeah.
Gave out candy to kids as you went. There we go. All right, we got a question here.
Well, as long
from,
as we don't have another Marvel property to review, or we might disagree, I think we'll be
Yeah, we'll see what happens later. This is unrelated, though. This is from Jaron Townsend, over on YouTube. Did you guys read any free comic book day books? I read the TMNT and Bone Orchard Mythos. I'm very excited for Bone Orchard, but the TMNT comic really made me want to read the Eastman and Laird stuff. Now, without spoiling anything too much, we are going to be talking about a bunch of the Marvel and DC free comic book day books in the Stack podcast this week. But did you guys get to do anything with free comic book day? Did you pick anything up?
I observed it quietly.
Oh, wow. You observed the day?
Well, so, I mean, I think just to talk it down, I'm
You go to
guessing. So
Midtown?
you had COVID.
Yep.
I thought maybe I had COVID. And
Yep.
Pete, you were out of town for a work trip, so I
I
don't
was
think we
gonna
did
work
much
this
for free
week.
comic book day.
I thought
But-
it was COVID have day, and
We
Yes.
did.
celebrate
We
that.
did read some free comics for the Stack podcast.
Yes, we
Yeah.
did do that, and my kids went with my wife to 2 of the different Galaxy Comics here in Brooklyn and pick some stuff up. I didn't get a chance to read it yet, but I am excited. They released I think it's a selection from the Clementine graphic novel, the character from Telltale Games Walking Dead, which is the best Walking Dead thing. So they have a new graphic novel involving Clementine. I have that sitting on my desk. I just haven't had a chance to read it yet, but very excited about that. And yeah, we'll talk about some of the DC Marvel stuff as well.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
And I'll also mention for the Bone Orchard thing, we have Jeff Lemire and Andrea Sorrentino are going to be on the show in a couple of weeks.
Very fun.
But I'm glad that person mentioned I'm going to check out that TMNT book. I don't like it when a Turtles property gets by me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you do love being a turtle, so there is that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
No? Okay. Here we got a non-controversial question from Pablo D. Martinez. Actually, I'm going to censor a little bit because this is spoilery. I love Multiverse of Madness. It's a great movie. What did people expect it will be? Blank. Here we go. Just thoughts? We'll cut to the thoughts part. There we go. I'll skip that one sentence there. So spoiler talk for Doctor Strange and in the Multiverse of Madness. If you don't want to hear it, check out now for the next 5-10 minutes, something like that. We'll see what happens. Once again, you can go to the Marvel Vision podcast where Justin and I talked about it. I know for an hour about the movie.
Just the two of us.
Just the two of us. It was a nice time.
Just the two of us.
But Pete, what did you think about the movie?
Well, I mean, this was Sam Raimi turned up to 11. So
I said almost the same thing.
I was like,
You
hey,
guys are crazy.
I'm gonna watch me some old school this just to get ready, you know what I mean, just to kind of go back and explore. And then I was just kind of rewarded with all these immediate Easter eggs. So it was really like directed by Sam Raimi, but it was also like, hey, you want Sam Raimi? We got you. We're going to make this the most Sam Raimi. And you got rewarded with maybe the best cape Sam Raimi could ever, that cowl made out of cloak. Sorry, cloak. Yeah. That was the whole thing. So like the fact that like it was like, the best of Army of Darkness and Evil Dead kind of, but in the Marvel universe, it was like, hey, Sam, you want to play with all of our Marvel toys? Would I? Can I, just kind of do what I want? And they were like, yeah, you're right. Yeah, Doctor Strange can be zombified, and like you can, we'll even give you, it was just, I was like surprised how much fun I was having. And then it was like, it really like gut punched you in horror ways. Like it was a very horror kind of like situation. And like the audience was really, packed theater was great to see it in and be like, we got to see the cameos when we got the, the reveal of like Mr. Fantastic.
The Illumawati?
Yeah, exactly. So it was just kind of like, oh shit. And then to have to watch them die in front of us was another like, oh shit moment. So it was a real emotional roller coaster. But seeing like Black Bolt's power taken away and then the back of his head get blown out was bananas. And Peggy Carter, I mean, oh my God, I mean, it was just such an amazing thing seeing her. And I got like emotional when she was like, I said it with her. I was like, I can do this all day. It was such a great moment. Oh, but
I mean, she was a highlight of the movie.
Yeah. But so man, good. When they like, you saw it coming and then, I'm glad they didn't show it. I don't think I could have taken it. Like, I'm glad that what they did with it was tasteful, but man, just unbelievable movie, a ton of fun. And, even that ending thing was hysterical. Like the after credits kind of little thing of like, it's over. It was just such a fun. So I feel like even if you weren't having fun, you were kind of with that character of like, oh, this is over. So, but man, I just thought it was like, hey kid, you like Sam Raimi movies? You want to see some like fucking crazy shit? Well, guess what? Right this way. Here's your, take your ticket and fucking go have some fun, because this is going to be a horror movie and a cameo festival and just like
Real quick, in that scenario you just laid out, are you the creepy guy out front saying, "Hey, kid,
hey kid, come on in, come on in, yeah.
Just to check, when you were saying you all piled into a van to go to prom, that was actually to go see Doctor Strange too, right?
Right, yeah. It was a Scooby-Doo situation.
I'm glad you liked it so much, Pete. I also liked it. A lot of people very negative about this movie.
Well, that's what's interesting to me is it was
so
like
weird, that people are so negative.
WandaVision? Did you see WandaVision? Because this is just that continued and like spun out in this way.
But you didn't like WandaVision, right? Or am I wrong about that?
Well, I didn't like that first episode when it was like, oh my God.
A sitcom?
No. You remember that when it got real weird and they were all just sitting there looking at each other and it got like,
yeah. It's like if we just stopped and we were just looking at each other.
Yeah, exactly. Someone's got to talk. Otherwise I'll lose my mind. So anyways, yeah, I had a great time. It was
I don't believe
no phasing it. No phasing it.
Right through that.
Yeah. I had it was good to see it with a good audience. Like everybody was into it. Everybody was having fun. The Illuminati got some reactions of, I think, maybe non-comic book fans being like, wait, what is going on?
I saw it at 8:30 on a Saturday morning at an Alamo Draft House in Brooklyn.
In the morning.
And people, when John Krasinski came on screen, the amount of smirks you could hear just quietly forming at the corner of everyone's
Everybody's
mouth
looking
in
at
the
their
room.
camera.
Yeah, it was a lot of office reaction.
I went out right after the movie and I had myself a big plate of blue spaghetti.
Wow.
Right?
Nice. Got you.
Yeah.
Cool.
You got it? Yeah,
I got it.
Nice.
Is that an Office reference?
What?
Is that an Office reference?
No, that's a reference to Mr. Fantastic gets turned into blue spaghetti.
Oh, yeah, that was.
Yeah, there you go. I thought it was all right. I had fun.
Yeah,
that's all.
Cool.
Yeah. For more, check out the Marvel Vision podcast.
I was
now live in your feeds.
I was happy how much Scarlet Witch we got. I thought that was really cool. I wanted more Wong, but that was. Wong was great. Wong is just so awesome. I can't wait for Wong's movie, man. It's going to be amazing. But the whole respect thing, and then when he finally bowed, was just great. It was nice to see him do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I wanted a little more from it, but I'm glad people are enjoying it, and that's great to hear. Why don't
you wanted more for a what more did you want? Did you want more?
To be perfectly honest, I felt like it was, and I felt like it was Sam Raimi turned down to 7. You know, like
Well,
I love Sam Raimi movies.
Yeah.
And we talked about this a bit on the podcast, but my big takeaway is that it was like people kept coming out and being like, "This is a real horror film in the MCU. This is so scary." And my big takeaway is like, no, it's him using his horror film techniques really well to do some fun stuff throughout. And I really enjoyed that a lot. But like, I would have loved to see a legit, actual scary horror movie.
Yeah, but it delivered.
But I'm saying like, it's not Evil Dead. It's not Army of Darkness. It's not Drag Me to Hell or anything like that. And it's fine that it is what it is.
It's like Drag Me to Heck.
Yes, exactly. That actually is a very good way to put it. Where like it's using that stuff for fun effect, but if I want to see something legit scary, I'd go maybe watch one of those other movies. That's all.
But it can't be legit scary. Would not be fun. Like it walked the line. It walked the line really well. Also, like they did the classic, acting trope that if you have an evil version of yourself, you bury it and then later resurrect it and use it as a puppet to kind of get what you need. I thought that was just the classic
yeah, totally rule. They did that in Braveheart, right?
What is it, Justin? It's the gun rule, or if you use if you set up a gun, there you go, Chekhov's gun.
Yeah. There you go. That was from Star Trek, right? Chekhov's gun.
Yeah.
Great.
What are the coordinates? Is what he used to say.
Why don't we
That
move
is my
on?
Gian.
Get to another question here. This is from Kevin. What are your favorite explorations of family dynamics in comics? Oh gosh, I would say Fantastic Four. What about?
I mean,
you guys?
Fantastic Four is a hard one to move past. But I do think if we want to talk found family, I would throw out the Bat family, especially.
Oh yeah, dude.
Scott Snydery time. I feel like he was really leaning into that, the family portion of it.
Also, the recent stuff that we did where it was coming out every week did a great job with the family stuff.
Yeah, with the Arkham Tower.
That
was very good as well. The Royal Flush Gang, I think, is sort of a family that gets
classic. I love watching them. Whenever they come in, I'm like, I want to know more about these characters and spend more time with them. I'll throw out to you the future version of Peter Parker and Mary Jane who have, is it May Parker is their kid who becomes Spider-Girl? That's great. Like, that was a really good... I'm not usually into these alternate future timelines or anything like that, but that one really works, and that title was really good as well, so big fan of that.
We throw out Runaways as well, another great sort of found family that always stick together, fight plenty, and still take care of each other.
Of course, Eastman and Laird's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, you know.
And Punisher's relationship with his family, right?
in a way, if you want to talk about how families can break you, and
wow, you mean he and Microchip, the ultimate family dynamic?
Him, Microchip, and their van, the ultimate family dynamic.
That's all you need.
Exactly. And that's all we need for your audience questions. Thank you, everybody, for those. We're going to move on with our next section, which is trivia. And for that, we're going to turn it over to Pete LePage.
Yeah.
All right. This is the part we give to you, the lovely audience. Are we doing a...
We're going to call out to the audience here. If anybody wants to come in and win a $25 gift card, just say me be me or whatever you want in the comments here on Crowdcast. If we don't get anybody here, we'll go over to YouTube. You can do the same thing there. Just raise your hand. There's just a little bit of a delay is all I'm going to say about that.
A little bit of a delay.
Just a bit of a delay. But who would like a $25 gift card to Midtown Comics? If not, we'll have to suck it up and donate to charity again, I guess.
Oh, man. That was actually pretty cool what we did last time, though.
Yeah. Hey, Pablo wants to steal from charity. Let's bring him in. Right. Here we go. Was that a good way of framing that up?
Oh, Alex.
Classic Zelbin. Here we go. Today's trivia is on topical.
Hold on. Wait for Pablo. Wait for Pablo to come in.
Well, I was trying to kill some time while we're waiting for Pablo to come in.
Oh, okay.
All right.
What's your favorite thing about Pablo? Let's go around. Pete, what's your favorite thing about Pablo?
He always says what's up when he first enters the room.
Oh,
that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Back when we were doing the live show, he always had a question. A reliable question asker. That's a great
I'll say, I've said this before on the show, but he really reminds me of the guy who says, hello, passengers on the bus. So every time I get on the bus, I think of Pablo without
we're about to see. Pablo, if you can still hear us before you come in, can you start with hello, passengers, when you say
hello, passengers?
Oh, my God. 1 for 1. It's exact.
And he's out. And
he's out. There you go.
Great. So today's trivia is...
Oh, and now Pete froze.
Pete froze. Oh,
no.
That's okay. We have a backup in place because we were really planned for this show and we know what we're doing. So, Alex, just go ahead and ask the trivia questions that Pete no doubt forwarded to you.
No problem. Before we do, why don't we go around and say what's your favorite thing about the guy who does the announcements on the bus in New York City? I'll start. Yeah. He reminds me of Pablo.
Oh, man, that was going to be my answer. I like the phrase, press the button if you want to signal for a stop.
Yeah.
Next up.
Great. Should I kick Pete out and bring him back in again, or what should we do here?
No, I would never. Look at that. He's smiling. This is a beautiful Pete.
Oh, man. That's a good image there. I just don't know why his camera froze.
Shout out to...
Oh, there we go. Oh, okay.
Ibrahim, do you want to talk about what action figure you would make if you could design one? While Pete's reconnecting?
I don't know. Maybe the Thing, maybe? It looks complicated.
That's nice.
Yeah, that's a good one. A lot of rocks there. If you take a pile of rocks and put them together, that'll just...
Yes. Maybe Colossus.
Colossus, another good one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I used to do that, though. Did you guys ever do that? Like, they didn't sell Fantastic Four action figures when I was a kid, and like Ibrahim, I had to create my own. So I'd go out on the yard, I'd get a pile of rocks, I'd put that together. I'd take some spaghetti, throw it on the ground. That was Mr. Fantastic. I'd set something on fire for the Human Torch, and then for Invisible Woman, there was just nothing there.
Nice. Wow.
Jeez.
What an imagination.
Creativity.
Oh, you're the bad kid from Toy Story 1?
Oh, no.
Sid?
Sid?
I'm Sid? Yes, absolutely. Pete is accepting and connecting. We could certainly do some trivia with you if you want.
Sure.
Pablo.
Look, Pablo's like, I'd
Close
rather
enough.
wait for Pete, honestly. Your guy's half-baked trivia is not the same.
Half-baked.
My trivia is based on I'm looking at CBR right now. I could just read off some headlines to you.
Oh, you're going to do topical comic news?
Yeah, we're going to do topical comic news with a tribute to probably, I assume he was going to do George Perez, right? He has to be doing George Perez.
Let's
Pete,
see. Don't muddy the waters.
You're back.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yes,
can you
man.
hear us?
Yeah.
Oh, great. Take it away, Pete, before you get cut off again.
All right, great. Today's trivia is on topical comic news and a small nod to the legend George Perez, R.I.P.
Yeah.
Please listen to all three options before making your selection. Here we go. Question number 1. Pablo, what actor is developing a comic called Head Wound Sparrow? Is it A. Ryan Phillip, B. Oscar Isaac, or is it C. Ray Eddy? So it's either A, don't pick it, or it's B, Oscar Isaac.
Moon Knight himself. It's B.
That is correct.
Nice.
Here we go. Question number 2. TMNT creator Kevin Eastman is coming out with a comic for Marvel about what character? Is it A, Danny Rand, B, Elektra, or is it C, Danny Mann? So it's either A, which is incorrect, or it's B, Elektra.
That's got to be Elektra. B.
You are correct. All right, here we go. Last
Nice.
one. Action Comics Annual 2022 is telling the story for the first time, the origin story of who? Is it A, Gary the Ratledge, B, Mongol, or C, Barry Ratcliffe? So it's either A, which is something I just made up, or it's B, Mongol.
Mongo.
You are correct.
Yes.
Pablo,
Congratulations.
you've done it again.
Pablo, you've won $25 to Midtown Comics. We will get you a gift card. In the meantime, though, have you guessed what Pete is referring to with his third answers?
It is the 2013 hit Legend of the Red Reaper.
Ooh, I've never seen that movie.
Does
George
he
Perez was
act
in it.
Does he act
That
in
is
it?
correct.
Wow.
Wow.
Let's check it out. That's awesome. Pablo,
God.
thank you so much for coming on. I'll see you on the bus.
Goodbye, passenger.
Pablo, great
Goodbye,
seeing you,
passenger.
Pablo.
Goodbye, passengers. All right. As we all know, comic books are coming out all the time this week. And in fact, they came out this previous weekend, as we talked about. But what are you guys looking forward to?
Oh,
Pete?
lots of stuff.
I'm looking forward to Superman, Son of Kal-El, number 11,
I was going to pick that. Look.
as well as Seven Secrets, number 17.
Really?
Justin, what about you?
I mean, Superman Son of Kal-El is just a great book with a ton of heart and a real great exploration of these characters. There's a great scene between Batman and Superman's dad that is really awesome.
Oh, man.
And then I want to also shout out 8 Billion Genies #1 from Image Comics by Charles Soule and Ryan Brown. Really fun premise. Charles Soule hasn't had a lot of time.
You shouldn't name so many. You make it really hard on Alex.
I know. I like to. We all share a brain, basically. So, really fun book. I'm looking forward to it.
Now, I'm going to give a shout out. Everybody knows I'm the #1 Daniel Warren Johnson fan on the podcast. So I'm going to give a shout out to the Jurassic League, which is DC Comics set back in dinosaur times. I'm very interested to check
Come
that out.
on!
He's not doing the art on this one. That's Juan Gideon, I believe. Gideon. But Daniel Warren Johnson on it. And as the hugest fan of the three of us, I can't not give that a shout out. And all of those are going to be on our Stack podcast, which rolls out Wednesday, 9 a.m., both in the Comic Book Club feed and in its own dedicated Stack feed. And folks, that is it for this week's show. A couple of people we want to thank. We want to thank
Pablo.
Serena Sanchez. Check out Black Rhapsody on Indiegogo right now. Also, Ibrahim Moustafa. Check out Retroactive from Humanoids, which is out now, and also his YouTube channel.
Yeah,
which
more
I'm very
importantly, his
excited to check
YouTube channel. Because
Both. Check out both.
Next week on the show, Sean Dicker is going to be here to talk about Uncovered Grave, and Samuel Satine is going to be here to talk about the reboot of Osamu Tezuka's Unico, which should be very interesting to chat about. Also, the Doom Room, our Doom Patrol podcast, is currently running in its own dedicated feed, or you can get all 34 episodes right now by subscribing on Patreon. Riverdale After Dark, a Riverdale podcast, comes on after that show airs on Sundays. Marvel Vision, we're just wrapping up Moon Knight, but we are revving up a couple of other things and going to roll into Miss Marvel next month, so keep it tuned there. Patreon.com/Comic Book Club to support the show and all the shows we do. Don't forget to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Android, Spotify, Stitcher, or the app of your choice. At Comic Book Live on Twitter, Comic Book Club Live on Instagram, comicbookclublive.com for this podcast and many more. Until next time, good night.
Take care, everybody.
Dark and stormy, folks. Good night.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great night.